Hello everybody at Enchanted Emerald. This is Melissa bringing you another monthly reading, and this one's going to be for Gemini for February 2022. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. As always, as we get started here, I use the traditional Rider-Waite deck for my readings, and I did feel called to pull a Moonology card for you as well, Gemini. So that is in store for you in this reading. So if you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button as it shows up as we move along here. Moving into the first week here, the 1st through the 5th, we have for you the 6 of Pentacles, Gemini, with the Page of Pentacles. And then we have, rounding out the week, 3 cards came out together, and they are the 2 of Pentacles. Lots of Pentacles energy, right? I feel like this is going to be a month for you. We're going to be really working on what gets you grounded, what keeps you grounded, what is it that you need to focus on. That's really going to be the energy here for you, okay? Maybe juggling a couple of things. This comes in, the 2 of Pentacles comes in with the 7 of Swords and rounds that out the week of the 5th there with the 8 of Pentacles. So what you are building. So initially when I was thinking about like what sign needed to have their reading done today, Gemini was one of the signs that came up, and I felt like you needed to get yours done first because I think this is very imperative for you. So the message that's coming through is very much intended to come out at this time. So that's how I do things. I usually go by what Spirit tells me needs to be done. And so when I was thinking about Gemini, Spirit is saying, Gemini is going to kind of go rogue this month. So what does that mean? What I really feel for you is that, going rogue is like, you're going to do your own thing. You're going to go your own way. Spirit was singing that Fleetwood Mac song to me, Go Your Own Way. And so the lyrics specifically that came up with that was that you're going to call it another lonely day. So I feel like, you might be in a situation where you're feeling a little bit lonely. You could be feeling as though there's some changes that you need to make. Maybe you've been putting that off for a little while, and you're feeling like, just feeling like you're alone in this situation, alone going through the motions, alone trying to work things out, right? So you feel like almost maybe like damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing. And so I do feel as though this is going to be calling for you to, go in a bit of an unconventional way, or what you might be perceiving as an unconventional way, and coming up with solutions. And it might be perceived either by you or other people as taking a walk on the wild side as you come into creating your own creative solution to that, or coming up with some problem solving to get through that. That's really what I feel for, like, in general, the whole month, really. And so when I see this, the 6 of Pentacles coming in at the beginning of the month, I feel like that's you and your energy, right? I feel like, I feel like maybe even this affirmation or this feeling of like, that you are eternally blessed, and so you're very giving, right? But I feel like this is, sharing with the poor, not in a traditional sense of like sharing your coins with the poor, but sharing your knowledge, right? And so, I feel like you have been really extending yourself to people, maybe one particular person, and trying to explain your point of view repeatedly, and it's kind of falling on deaf ears. And so there's a reminder here that this is something that you are sharing from your scope, but that person is only going to hear from their scope. And so what I say with that, it's like, again, through their own lens of experience, right? And so through all of this, you've been trying to be very patient with this person and impart your wisdom, impart your knowledge. And I feel like it's, going to become a situation that could be like too hot to handle at some point this week, okay? Like things could surface and it could really create a little bit of a havoc situation. Now I feel that this person specifically that you're dealing with, Gemini, could be a Scorpio rising or have a Scorpio in their sign somewhere. So whether a Scorpio moon, Scorpio sun, but I feel specifically this is someone, a message for somebody who is working with a Scorpio rising, somebody who has a Scorpio rising. So I feel like this is a very volatile mix for you. And so, because, you know, Gemini is very mutable, right? They're this air sign and they're, you know, they have flexibility and their curiosity. It kind of really gets them going. And then the Scorpio is on the other side of that, is very fixed. And so they're fixed water. And so I feel like the positive aspect of that is that the both of you could be working together on overcoming this hardship, overcoming this obstacle, right? But I feel like what's going to bubble up this week is that it's going to be like, man, the audacity, you're going to feel like, man, the audacity of this person, like you're going to feel blatant disrespect from this person. You're going to be like, that was rude AF. And I am like overwhelmed with that right now. And so where you could become almost transfixed by the audacity of this person. Like when I say transfixed, like I feel like you could be frozen, like in shock that I can't believe this is happening right now. Like you could be like mortified or horrified, or like I just feel like this, like your bitch face. I guess I could say that will come out, right? And so where you are upset, you're very upset, and so you're going to be expressing it. So at some point I feel like you could be even questioning, like, man, what I'm trying to do to help this person, maybe, you know, help them move along in their path of growth, whether it's spiritually or mentally or, you know, emotionally. You are trying to help them and you feel like you're doing you know, a good deed for that person and for you, right? Because maybe you are trying to get them to grow so that you guys can overcome this obstacle together, and then at the same time it becomes too hot to handle because you are unable to function once this is happening, right? And so I feel like that's what's going to be happening, you know, at the beginning of the month here for you, Gemini. I feel like it's just a little bit too much for you. And that has a potential to kind of bubble over and to boil over and to become a real issue, at least at this point. Now, I feel like it's important to kind of understand that through all of this, breathe, right? Just breathe. Breathe through it and get yourself through it. And, you know, remember that regardless of how the situation presents itself, there are lessons within it. And so, for both parties, right? Moving in to the 6th through the 12th, we have the Ace of Wands with the World card. And then rounding out that week, we have the 10 of Cups, accompanied by, these came out together, the 5 of Wands. So a little bit of conflict there with that as well. Now I feel like, you know, this comes in with a little bit of ruthlessness, right? Where I feel like there are some judgments maybe being placed upon you, but I feel as though this could be a judgment that you are placing upon yourself, whether new situations are arising and you're placing a judgment on it, like, man, do I really deserve that happiness and love? Do I really, you know, it's like this internal conflict kind of accompanying that, where you're placing a judgment on it, like, maybe I have some sort of an ambivalence to that, like, yes, I've wanted that, yes, I manifested that, it finally comes through for you, and then, like, surface level, you're experiencing happiness, you're expressing happiness, people are portraying, you are seeing you as, you know, being happy, right, because you're portraying that you're happy. And so internally, though, you could feel maybe a little uneasy, where you're like, you know, okay, I've been given the world, now is the world going to be taken away from me? And so you feel as though maybe someone's going to pull that carpet out from underneath you, right? And so there are some judgments that are kind of being, you know, put onto the situation, which kind of affects the energy of everything, right? And so it's important in focusing on, you know, in this situation on having a sound mind, right? Starting to challenge some of those thoughts as they creep in, because this new era that's being ushered in with this world card, like, you can be totally content where you are, like, with things as they are. But you are like longing for this new energy and new situations. And so your energy is pulling that in, and these new situations are starting to show up for you, right? Because you're focusing on it so much, and you're manifesting that, right? You're acting as if you're putting all the energy into that, and it's creating this snowball effect, and so it's coming in for you. And so when it actually shows up for you, it's going to be a space where you're going to have to, like, decide, is this for me, or are you going to reject that? So, like, you can accept that and have that, you know, in your reality, but then also your energy is kind of like, it's off-putting because you're kind of rejecting that by maybe telling yourself a story that, hey, I'm not sure if this is for me, and I'm not sure 100% that I believe that I'm worthy of this, and so this could be a situation that could be short-lived if that's the case. Okay, so I do feel like part of that is a self-sabotage, right? There's a reckless abandon with that, right? Where the situation arises, it comes in, you're quick to accept it, and then you're like, whoa, wait, I'm not sure this is for me. Let me start to manifest something different. Let me just get out of this situation real quick. And so it can be scary when things start to show up for you, and that's where you feel like, man, is this going to be like that carpet pulled out from underneath me? I feel a little unsteady. I'd rather be in something where I feel really steady, right? And sometimes when we're in situations where we feel really steady, we can be relying on other people. So is that really in a situation where you're feeling really steady? I mean, I guess if you can understand where that is, right? Where you're in a job, maybe working for somebody else, and you're on their payroll, and so their money is paying you, right? Or something to that effect, so you feel that there's more security in that, but you could be laid off like tomorrow, right? So that's what I kind of mean by that, where you're not as secure as you think you are. The only security that you have is the security that you build within, right? Because it is this faith, this faith that you build with spirit and the universe, and understanding that we are co-creators of this with the law of attraction, and it's this really beautiful process. So I do very much feel that whether you want this or not, it's here, and it's here to stay. So I feel like it's out with the old, in with the new, and Spirit's wanting you to understand that this is part of what is supposed to be happening for you. So understand, you know, that things could be misrepresented in terms of your energy and what you've manifested, right? So I think it's like about getting clear on who you are, what do you stand for, what you feel is meant for you and what isn't, right? So it's getting clear on all of those things. It's really, really important at this time to make sure that you're in alignment with these really beautiful things that are showing up for you. So when it comes to stay, because it's meant to stay, right? And I was listening to this beautiful podcast, and it kind of reminds me of that as well, you know, that we have things, situations that kind of show up for us, and we have a little bit of time to kind of be flexible and explore different things and opportunities, but there is this divine plan for us, and there are things that we are meant to be doing. And so if we're starting to run out of time in terms of completing those divine tasks, Spirit will always kind of reroute us and get us back on track, right? They're our internal GPS, and so they will show back up for us, and I'm getting chills with all of that. So I think that that was a beautiful message for you. So moving into the 13th through the 19th, we have the Ace of Swords, And I'm really feeling that olive branch with that. So I'll get to that in just a second. And it comes out with the Moon card. All three of these cards came out together. So the Moon card. And then the King of Wands. Okay, the King of Wands facing the Moon card as well. All right. So that was the 13th through the 19th. Now, as we discuss the 13th through the 19th, Gemini, what I really feel with this is it is time to take things in stride, okay? So with that olive branch, I feel as though there's a white flag that's being waved, a little bit of a surrender here. I do feel that there could be somebody in your surroundings this week that you discover has been exaggerating things, maybe telling, little white lies, little fabrications, or maybe, big white lies, right? Exaggerating the truth, so to speak, and lying. And so you come to discover these things, and you might be really upset by that. And so Spirit is saying, listen, take this all in stride, okay? Not everyone is going to like what you have to say or what you are creating or where you are going, right? But you are only responsible for your own happiness. You're not responsible for their happiness. So I feel like this person or these people that are kind of coming up with these stories and kind of fabricating these things about you, they're saying these things to get their way, maybe to manipulate you into going down a certain path that benefits them because that's what they would like for you, because that would make them feel more comfortable because you're not taking risks, right? And so you might feel tempted, like, man, I would really like to get back at them, right? Like that could be your initial reaction, right? Like, I am so tired of that. I just want to teach them a lesson. Leave that to Spirit, okay? And I do feel like that's going to be just your initial reaction. I do feel like you're going to overcome this, like, really quickly. You're going to turn, like, a blind eye to it because I feel like you're not going to cry. You're not going to shed a tear about this. You're just going to see it for what it is and who they are and understand that your job is to not create resistance within the system. It's kind of futile to introduce resistance in the system. And so looking for that, I'm going to teach them a lesson type of energy, or going into that type of energy, is just going to create resistance in moving down the path that you're meant to be propelled down. And so you understand that, and you understand that, yes, these people are kind of fabricating these things about me. They're projecting their own fears onto me, and it doesn't have to affect my energy. I'm divinely protected, so you know these things, and that's an amazing thing. But you understand too that, like, what you're doing, it's almost as if you're entertaining these people as well, right? You are creating, you are saying the things you need to say, you are living authentically, so you're also inspiring, right? You are being bold, you're setting an example, right? All of these things. So if they're talking about you, then more power to them, right? Because they're paying attention to you, right? And so don't feed into that any more than you have to, because that's exactly what they want, right? You're feeding that energy. Don't give that any more energy. Understand that you can turn around and create more and more beautiful things as a result of that energy being directed at you, right? Or towards you, okay? Moving into the 20th through the 28th, Gemini, we have beautiful cards, love them so much. The Six of Wands with the Empress, this beautiful Empress. Now, I love how Spirit explained this too. The Empress is a beautiful card, and this is very fertile energy for you for the last week of February, okay? And I am talking about new ideas, creative energy surrounding you in a lot of different ways. And I feel as though you could be, like, in groundbreaking territory, like breaking ground on new projects, right? And it's almost like you're in, Spirit is saying, like, virgin lands, right? Like, You are in territory you've never been in before. You're planting seeds to create growth in ways that you've never created before. And it's all a beautiful process, and it's so much fun. I'm getting such exciting type energy with this. Now, don't confuse that, because that can feel a little bit like anxiety. Maybe you have a little bit of anxiety, and that's to be expected. But it's exciting, right? Now, I feel like it's important to mention here that as you do these things, that it's important to be patient with yourself. Not everything is going to work out 100% of the time. Be willing to laugh at yourself as you start to navigate this and create new processes for yourself. And I think that that is the key, because it's like learning how to walk, right? You have to build this muscle. Growth requires us to step out of our bounds, step out of our traditional comfort zone. And so when we do that, you can create new patterns for yourself, new habits for yourself. But it doesn't come so easy. You can't snap your fingers and have it all be done for you. You can't plant that seed and have it grow the next day. And it's beautiful that you have all the beginning of the month, you have all that pentacle energy, because it's earth energy. And you think of like earth, and it is an energy that we have like growing, right? When we talk about our growing, like we start in the spring with the seeds, and it doesn't just sprout and grow into our harvest. Our harvest comes in the fall. And so it's beautiful energy to be patient with yourself and understand that it's going to take some time to get where you'd really like to be. But in the midst of it all, Spirit is showing the starfish spirit animal with this. This is about understanding that through this, you're going to get yourself to a place where you are self-sustainable, right? You are constantly filling your cup up, right? Reaching within the depths of your soul from that well within, right? This void is no longer a void inside of you, right? You don't feel empty, right? You're filling your own cup. You're creating these new things for yourself and new purpose, right? Is what I feel with that. Or feeling like there's new purpose in what you're doing. Maybe it's something that you've been doing for a while, but you see new perspective on it. It's just an overall renewal, a feeling of renewal. But it's about taking the action to get there. It's about planting those seeds, right? Those seeds are not going to sprout unless you put them in the soil and you water them every day and you nourish them. And so it's about that as above, so below, the internal to the external. You can't just sit with your ideas and then not take action on them and expect them to get you somewhere. So it's very much thought to action, right, with that starfish spirit as well. So it will inspire you. It will bring a lot of inspiration with this Empress energy. And there is an air around this of, as you work through that, as you get your hands in the dirt, as you start doing these things for yourself, it's a way in helping you to really let go of the past, really leave the past behind, leave the trauma behind, leave the negativity behind, and really put your focus into where you're going and what you're creating and what you're building. And that is and should be your priority. Absolutely. As this all comes up, though, it will surface. It has to, because that's how you can go into the new, that new energy that's coming in for you with that world, right? We have to let go of that stuff to create space to allow the new to take hold, okay? Overall advice, we have the Ten of Swords. And so with this, it's about, overall advice here is to just kind of lay low, right? This is like the end of a cycle. And this is where you let go of things to create new patterns for yourself, right? So lay low, let the drama play out, right? And, you know, I feel like this is an energy and air around this where you no longer have that CD and the CD player just like playing on repeat anymore. You're like, man, I'm really tired of this. I'm not going to do this anymore. And so you are putting that CD out of your CD player and saying, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the same results. I'm tired of what's showing up for me, and I'm ready to embrace something new. And so you're removing that. And so again, this comes with an air. Spirit is saying, remember to, you know, captivate. The word captivate just came through. So like, you know, using this as, you know, allowing yourself to be totally, you know, thrilled with what you're doing, totally be in love with your life, in love with what you're doing, but then allowing that to overflow into captivating those around you, right? Like inspiring those around you to also be in love with their life. And so I really just feel that yes, you will inspire some others, but you'll also trigger some others. That's part of the process, right? We're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. And so you will be removing some things. You will be taking on some new things. It will be a totally new start for you in the end, okay? Again, I do feel like it's pushing old wounds to the side and welcoming in new things. So with that can come in some overanalyzing, right? Some overanalyzing, some overthinking, right? Got to keep your emotions in check. Got to keep that sound mind. Got to keep your thoughts in check, your ego in check. Start challenging those things as they come up, okay? And Spirit is also saying that you could benefit from a tektite. That's what they said. So I think that's like moldavite. It works with the crown chakra. And, you know, I feel like it's a very high vibrational stone, so, or crystal. So it's going to help you really integrate all these new energies and help you work with different realms, beings from different realms, and to help you open up your psychic abilities and create some stability around that and integrating that into that. So Moonology card for you, Gemini. I'm sorry, I know this is running quite long, so I apologize. We have last quarter moon in Aquarius, so reflect on your priorities. And this is actually very much reflected throughout this reading, so I won't actually read too much into that. But this is really about meditating with something like a hematite or a bloodstone, right? Or like a jasper, right? Really sitting with that. And, you know, asking yourself, what's important to you? Are you able to identify those things that are important to you? Are you able to identify where the things that are important to you are being played out in your everyday activities and how you're highlighting that? And are you living in a life that is aligned with what's important to you? And, you know, I feel like you're going to get a lot of clarity. You're going to get a lot of inspiration throughout your meditation. If you are sitting with one of those crystals, but I do feel you don't really need to do anything, and you don't need anything. But there are some things that you do want, and are you going to take action to obtain those things? And how could you take action? And what actions do you want to take? And how could you come up with that game plan? It's about sitting with that type of energy as you look at that Moonology card. So beautiful reading here for you, Gemini. I do so hope that this resonates for you. As always, if you have another Gemini that is near and dear to your heart and you feel inclined to share this with them so that they can also benefit from hearing the reading, I would love for you to share that with them. As always, I will be back with another read for you guys again soon. If you're interested in your own personal reading, because not all general readings can resonate for everybody, I'd love to be able to do that for you. You can hit me up at the square site below in the description box, or at enchantedemeraldny@gmail.com, or right there on Facebook at Enchanted Emerald. Thank you so much. And everybody, have a wonderful day. Take care.